All right, let's see if this works now. All right. So guys, if you can hear me, we're on right now. It's crazy. We had a storm come through right when we started recording. I mean, soon as we went to go live, a storm came through, knocked everything out. Literally had to get the computer, everything back up and running. So we've been scrambling. The guys are still working on getting up and running. We don't even have lights in certain portions of the office, but literally knocked us out. So please forgive us if we are back and forth or things don't seem right or I'm not as bright as I normally am because we're still waiting to get things up and running. And I don't know if we'll actually be able to get things up and running. We currently have our monitors where I'm able to see you guys chat and things like that. I can't see that. So I will be basically crippled um, during this particular broadcast. However, what I didn't want to do is tell you guys we were going to do something that we was not going to do. So wanted to make sure that we honored what we said, which was going live, and wanted to make sure that you guys were able to get this information out because I was asked to put out something, and I got several emails that you guys are missing the live streams and that you really, um, really like the live streams and you prefer the live streams versus other things. Um, Normally, I would be able to, and I don't know if you guys can hear me or what's going on, but anyway, like I said, if you're just tuning in, this is music business tips. Lightning um, knocked us out. You know, I mean, literally, we are still scrambling. The guys are in here now trying to get things together to figure out what's going on because we lost our triple monitors here. I have a computer here, so I'll be able to see some of what you guys are saying in the backdrop, which then draws my attention away from the actual program. But however, I want to get started and give you guys some updates. And you know what? If you guys give me just a couple minutes, I don't know if I can do it or not, but I wanted to be able to change these lights around so that you can at least see my face, but I don't think that's going to happen. Anyway, first up, let me talk about the Hack My Beat Challenge, please, if you would allow me to. Very happy, very proud of you guys and all you producers who have contributed to the Hack My Beat project and getting great results. And I did get an email that was disconcerting. I won't mention any names. Um, but someone emailed me, one of the producers who made it to the top 15, I think it was, and he just basically outlined, and I skimmed through the email about not really wanting to have to self promote. Um, if you guys don't get anything else about what this channel has always been about, it's always been about empowering you. Okay, always. Everything that has been done has always been done with a purpose. Everything we do here is for a purpose to benefit you guys. Because contrary to whatever programs or contests or things that I want to do and I'm implementing for you guys to better the career of those who continue to follow us, it's always been about you being empowered to control your music business. And this Hack My Beat challenge is no different. You understand? So, you know, everything that we've doing, and since I have to give you at least let some of the cat out the bag, the whole progress of putting you in a situation where you using our sound kit. Okay, that happens in real life studio situations where you're dropped into a studio for the first time. You may not have all of your equipment or your production tools, and you're required to use someone else's tools and their sample kits or whatever they have in the studio. So, for example, if we are working with Dre and he calls us in for a meeting, and that meeting turns into let's drop a track for this idea I have, then we had to do it. And you couldn't rely on, oh, we didn't have our keyboards in or our particular machine or whatever it is with all our samples or sounds that we use or specialize in. You often had to use what's available to you. So that's part one of what this challenge was about. Part two, when it came to once the track was selected, this was about self promotion. I wanted you guys to see how capable you are of actually promoting your music and what you actually did. And you did. You guys are doing tremendous when it comes to the promotion of your music. So, two things. If you are not about empowerment, if you're not about empowering yourself and understanding what we're doing is all about empowering you, then this channel is not for you. I'm suggesting you unsubscribe. I make no money off this. Any money that comes off of YouTube goes to my employees, okay, and to take care of the bills here, and it just doesn't. And most of it comes out of my own pocket, honestly. So I'm still paying to educate and teach people. So if you don't find what we have useful, or that if it's not what you think it is, in other words, I mean, in the email it was clear that they weren't looking for something for nothing. They get it, but it concerned me because obviously some of you aren't getting it. It's I mean, this is truly about empowering you. You understand what I'm saying? And self promotion is your job when it comes to your business. This is your business. Now, I always emphasize that whenever I do things. You know what I mean? Of course, music is life, but empowering yourself to understand that this is your business. Okay, and I said to you before, this is not promoting our SoundCloud account. I don't care about no SoundCloud account, all right? I'm going to eat regardless. This is about teaching you the tools and showing you what you're capable of doing when given a little drive and a little motivation. Completely what this is all about, all right? So, any of you who are watching that don't agree with that, I'm asking you, please just unsubscribe. It makes my life easier, okay? Because this station, this TV station, and this is nothing compared to what we have going on. That's the thing that's hurting me most. That just a little bit patience, man. You guys will see where this is going. But we're not just doing a YouTube channel. This is magnifying into something completely different and unexpected. I guarantee you, at the end of the day. But the point that I'm making though is that if you're not willing to empower yourself and not willing to see that there's an end game, and that what I mean, it gets no plain and simple. I changed it from music millionaires because everybody that comes here aren't music millionaires. I was trying to put it out, I hope that that title, music millionaires, would embody the essence of what you wanted to become and put you in the mindset to do what's necessary to become a music millionaire. But I changed it to music business tips because that's what it is, and the key word is business. So if I offended anyone by asking you to promote your stuff, I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm just saying unsubscribe. You know what I mean? Because I will not ask for forgiveness for something that I feel like is empowering you. And if you don't feel like that this helps you in any kind of way, that you already are in a certain place and you're getting placements, TV, film, or whatever it is, then do what's best for you. Then I have nothing I can offer you. But with all that said, I want to move on, and I'm not even sure if you guys can even necessarily hear me, because again, we're flying blind here, and I don't even know if the chat is available. You know what I mean? I don't see anyone chatting, um, but at the end of the day, man, for everybody else that has taken this challenge and who is really enjoying the camaraderie and the contest as a whole, big ups to you guys. Proud of all of you, man. And like I said, this has a end game to it, and I'm hoping you guys can stick it through to the end game. And a few of you guys who are on the team know what the end game is. However, this particular live video wasn't about hack my beat challenge. I didn't want to talk too much about the hack my beat challenge, but I did want to address the issue at hand that was presented to me. What I want to do now is, though, because the question has constantly came up in emails, how do you make money with your music? And I'm not talking about how do you sell your music and make money. That's the obvious. Okay. You sell a track, for a certain price, exclusive, non-exclusive, you make money. However, how do artists like Jay-Z, Beyonce, and myself, how do we continue to make money off of music that we produce or we're a part of, and continue to live off of that musical production? And that was the question, like, how really is money made? And so what we're going to get into is, how do you make money with your music? And it's complex, but it's simplistic at the same time. So I'll do the best that I can to break these things down to you so that you guys have a general understanding of how money is generated, not just by record labels, but anyone who is in the record label business, how they actually make money. Now, okay, so BK said I'm kind of low. I don't know what I can do to get any higher because I think this is maxed out, and we don't, like I said, everything else is down. So we have a basic, um, a basic configuration set up right now as far as mic and everything. So we have no way of controlling it, and I just hope that you know you guys can hear it, and hopefully there's something that you can control later on inside of your once this is replayed or re-aired, that you can hear it later on. But outside of cutting this mic on, which is going to give some terrible feedback, cutting the external mic on or the internal mic, it's going to give us hellified feedback. Let me see what I can do here real quick. I don't know if that's going to help any, if any at all. You know what I mean? I apologize. Maybe if I get a little closer to the mic or reposition the microphone, that would be a little better. Um, anyway, so let me go right into it. I'm not going to procrastinate and hesitate. All right. So how you make money, or how artists like Jay-Z, myself, and producers make money is a simple but complex situation. Basically, it deals with publishing. All right. And when you talk about publishing, oftentimes people think publishing as this simplistic um, entity, and it's not. So it also determines if you're serious about your music business, or if you're just basically doing this as a hobby. You know what I mean? So let me talk about the sources of income from publishing. All right, because this is how you actually make your money. Of course, and I've talked about this. So if you've already heard this before, you can pretty much go to some of my videos. I forgot which video I did where I talk about this before, but I'm gonna reiterate this and summarize it all into one. However, this course completely, we just finished the video course for this particular subject, where it's detailed and outlined in its entirety for the Music Millionaires kit. So once the site goes live, and we didn't talk about that, we didn't put that on the website. We made it as skeletal as possible. It's a real skeleton outline of what you'll receive for those who've been creeping around trying to figure out what they're going to be getting for the Music Millionaires kit. We just made it a skeleton because we want to make sure we get the best people who are serious about their business versus people that are just hobbyists. However, we just completed the publishing video course, and it's a complete in-depth tutorial on publishing and how you guys make money. However, let me jump right into it. So there are what they call mechanical royalties. All right. So you have mechanical royalties, you have performance income, you have sync license, and then you have print. All right. Most of the time, you don't hear anyone talk about the print, and I'll tell you why later on. However, real briefly, when you're dealing with mechanical royalties, you're talking about it's more synonymous with, for example, CDs or vinyl records, tape back in the days, when they had the tapes and stuff like that. Um, and also it deals with reproduction. Okay, and so when you're dealing with mechanical royalties outside of hardline um, tangible object, which has now changed because now you have the digital downloads and things like that that mechanical royalties are attached to. But when you start talking about um, mechanical royalties, and you're talking about the reproduction of a phonograph or recording, mechanical royalties is that part. Now, real simply, mechanical royalties, what you get paid is going to shock you because it's not as much as everyone think it is, and it can be negotiated depending on if you're with a record label, or you're doing this yourself, or someone else is actually what they call a the middleman who is going out and making sure that you get your mechanical royalties. But the royalty rate in the United States is basically, I think it's 0091 or 091. I think it's 091 percent for reproduction for songs 5 minutes and under. So what that basically means is that you will recoup, if you're not splitting that with your record label, you're only making basically 9 cents for a 5 minute or under song. Now, if you have a song that is over 5 minutes, then it's calculated. The U.S. government has a formula that they use to calculate any songs that's over 5 minutes, and the royalty rates that you are to receive from your mechanical royalties from there. And I don't know what that exact formula is, so I don't want to lie to you guys about that, but I'm pretty sure you can look it up and find out. But mechanical royalties is how you get paid, and that deals with, again, reproduction of the music, whether it be CD, vinyl, even digital downloads at this particular moment. So mechanical royalties is one form of getting paid. Now internationally, to me, international royalties are a lot better because you get anywhere between 8 and 10%, I think, of the list price. So that basically means that, if you had a single that was out there, and that single was going for, let's for example, for as a digital download example, if it was going for 99 cent, you get 8 to 10% of that, which is still boiling down to basically that 9 cent or 9.1 that we talked about earlier, which doesn't sound great, but when you start talking about volume, that's different. And now the reason why you don't get um, a lot of money on the mechanical royalty side of things, because you're looking at so many different factors, duplication, CDs, marketing, a whole bunch of ton of factors that are in play when it comes to record labels and or whoever you're utilizing um, to distribute your music. And again, we can go into detail, and we'll go into detail in the course, which will be available to you on the Music Millionaires website. All right, now what applies to that, as I said before, is digital downloads are the same thing, the same rates, depending on if you're a label distributing it or if you're doing it yourself. Now, if you're doing it yourself, they have new companies and opportunities for you guys to determine how much you want to make per download. Now, again, in today's market, with all the competition, and you guys know there's tons of competition out there, you have to be very careful what you market, or you actually um, put your music up for sale. Okay, but again, this is just to tell you guys what is made and how you make your money and what the going rates are when it comes to mechanical royalties. So, if you decide to use outside source, or if you decide to use a company for your digital distribution, this may change depending on whether they're charging you a monthly fee, whether they charge you a percentage of the download. Once it, once someone downloads it, it can vary when it comes to digital downloads and your mechanical royalties, as far as that's concerned. Now, I do know, like, if you provide ringtones, you pretty much average out 24 cent, which is where you're making money. Once the ringtone factor came into place, artists made more money off the ringtones because you're pretty much getting 24 cent on each ringtone for a 99 cent ringtone. Now, why that variation or why it's so high, I don't know. I only can tell you what the averages are and what we've seen as far as reports is concerned. So ringtones, you make a little bit more, and I'm assuming because, and this is an assumption. Please forgive me for making assumptions. I normally don't do this, but when you're dealing with ringtone, you're only talking about maybe a 30 second, or maybe let's just say a 4 bar loop, maybe a hook or a portion of a hook that's being played versus a 5 minute song, 3 minute song. So um, and you really can't charge more than $1.50 per ringtone. So I can see where the percentage is higher. They based it on the average of seconds or minutes played that are being used or continued use of a ringtone or of a song. So 24 cents is what you're getting when it comes to the mechanical royalties of ringtone. Now, for streaming mechanical royalties or rates is a little different. Matter of fact, it's a lot different, because in streaming you're making really nothing. You know what I mean? Streaming, especially if you're on a record label, or however you're however you're signed, or whatever you decide to do, the normal typical rate for streaming that the government will basically chime in and help you pursue if you were ever wronged would be 0.005, so like half a cent, literally half a cent for streaming. So that means when you see artists like Kendrick Lamar get 50 million streams, whether it's on Pandora, whether it's on Spotify, whether it's on YouTube, because all those avenues are considered mechanical royalties, they're getting like 0.005, which is a half a cent per stream. Now, again, this may vary depending on the artist and the agreement that they have, but typically that is what they are getting per stream, and it's not much. Now, how this is determined, I'm assuming would be based on advertising rate, and also the negotiating blanket rate, or whatever was negotiated by said record label and or streaming or distribution company, and how they are acquiring the music. Okay, because you also have to look at, there's other fees that labels, or not labels, excuse me, streaming services have to pay into. And one of them is going to be the next thing we talk about, which is performing rights or performance streams or performance royalties. So mechanical royalties is one income, and like we said before, that ranges from 0.091 cent, from actual hard copy of your music, to half a cent, or 8 to 10% internationally. Okay, that's mechanical royalties. So now if we roll into performance income, PRO, performance right organizations or performance rights royalties. And that's basically when your music is playing on radio, or if it's playing in restaurants, if it's playing in an elevator, um, concerts, someone decides to do a cover song. All those things are considered performing rights, and so there is fees associated with that. Now that varies, and there is no outline per se to performance royalties, because most 90% of the time, unless you have an in-house agency or a department within your company that is able to license and negotiate with millions of possible businesses and or people who want to use your music, is virtually left up to the performing rights organization that you're signed with. Now, um, I'm glad we're talking about this as well, because new law, or not even a new law, the Department of Justice just made a ruling recently about that the PRO and the laws that govern the PROs and how money is handled hasn't been done correctly, and I'm waiting to hear something more about it. Because what it does is, before, the person who owned majority of the music, the majority stockholder, for lack of a better word, their PRO would basically govern the licenses of a track or a song. Now, however, and not have to worry about your portion. Your PRO would be the one that would be acquiring or going after the money for you. However, I don't think they would have the right actually to license the song itself. It would be the person with the highest percentage in the song, or their performing rights organization would have the rights to do so, unless there was an agreement put in place or negotiate prior to the release of the song. Now, if there's an agreement in place, then whoever claimed the copyrights, could be like, for example, a Beyonce, because she's known for doing that type of stuff. Then their PRO would control the licensing of that particular song, but they would not be responsible for what you get paid. Your PRO would be responsible for finding out and aggregating um, your money, or getting your money for your portion of what is due to you. However, the Department of Justice now is making it, or saying, or making a claim that this responsibility will be the responsibility of all PROs. So basically, what they're saying is that BMI, if they licensed a song, not only would they be responsible for recovering that monies, but they'll also be responsible for covering, making sure you got paid, even if you was on ASCAP or CSAC. Now, again, it's very cloudy how that will play out, and or what that means for people like ourselves. Will we be getting paid twice? You know what? But performing rights organizations are good for collecting money. Now, normally, how that money is collected is issued through what they call a license. And so, what they would offer basically in the in the aspect of a radio station would be, like, say, for a broadcasting company like iHeartRadio. Okay, so iHeartRadio, because they own so many different record radio stations, or they're affiliated with so many different radio stations, they wouldn't be paying per radio station, versus someone like me, myself, or small radio stations, or yourself, who had a small radio station. You would be paying probably, depending on your revenue stream, because I think all that is a part of how they determine what license you'll pay. You'll be paying a larger portion. But I'm 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 getting everything jumbled up. Let me go back. So basically, PROs offer majority of time blanket licenses. Okay. To radio stations and or restaurants or franchises or things of that nature. And that blanket license is just that. It's a general fee that is paid yearly or monthly by whoever's utilizing the PRO's catalog of music by their artists. Okay, and that fee could be anything. Let's say for lack of a better number, let's say that was $5,000 a month for access to the catalog. Now, how you would get paid from that $5,000 per se, if that's what the fee was, would be based on popularity of spins. So if you were Jay Z or BK Banger, for example, I'm gonna use you, brother. I apologize, but you're the one who chimed in on the chat. Um, and let's say, matter of fact, Hitman Production Group um, were these top artists in our PRO, and you guys got a million spins, and it just went down from there. So the person with the highest spins after the PRO pays their bills, because most PROs are non-profit, so they can't make a profit. They're designed to be able to pay their bills, pay their employees, and that's it. And so the rest of that money now is put into a pot, which is divvied out to the person with the most spins for that month and or the first quarter. So let's talk about the first quarter. So the first quarter, I mean, if Beyonce headed the charts up, she would get a large portion of that money, and then it would just trickle down to everyone else um, after she got her large portion. And that's how PROs work. And that was a blanket license example. Now, for I know you guys are asking, what about film and TV? Well, that's a different situation, which we're going to go right into. These are now called sync licenses. So a sync license is basically just that, where they take your music, and sync it up with TV or film, okay, or a movie or a commercial. Any of those things where you have a video representation and or audio representation, and audio representation synced together now becomes a sync license, and that can and will include um, YouTube videos. Okay, YouTube videos would require sync license agreements, which also could fall under your PRO. Don't get it mistaken. That can happen. Your PRO can utilize, because that's also performance. Performance being inside of a video representation. So um, sync licenses is when your music is attached to something like film, TV, commercial, etc., etc. Now, the advantage to sync licenses now versus back then, when I first got started, and shit, people before myself got started, was that sync license availability was very few and far in between. And that's because, if you guys remember, those who are pretty much 30 years old and over, maybe even 35, if you remember, there was only like so many broadcast networks. You had CBS, NBC, yeah, ABC. It was only like 4 or 5 major networks, man. And then other networks came into place. Now we have thousands of networks. You got thousands of broadcasting companies. You know what I mean? You got thousands of movies coming out a year internationally and whatnot. So the opportunities for producers and artists and or groups as a whole is greater now, and the greatest opportunity ever, because shows are constantly being put out, sitcoms are being put out, movies are constantly being put out. You get my point. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing or the whole gambit. So sync licenses is actually the way to go right now for producers and artists if they're really looking to get their music placed. It's one of the things that we'll be offering to the Music Millionaires members. That if you are a Music Millionaire member, you'll get a chance to submit your music um, for sync license placements. You'll only get a chance to submit so many for free from us, and then if you wanted to submit it more, then you could, because a lot of times we have to actually pay music supervisors to listen to our music because we submit so much. And when you're submitting so many tracks of music, you wind up having to pay for availability for them to take the time out to listen to it, and or depending on if they are actually doing that middleman thing where they have people that are basically scrutinizing the music to see if it goes actually into the supervisor's hand. So we are working it out right now where there won't be, hopefully, it won't be too bad for you guys. But on certain memberships, you will have that availability. However, sync license is the route to go these days, because you can eat when you get 10, 15, 20, 30 placements on TV, films, or shows and things like that. My very first placement, TV placement or sync placement, was with the movie Bring It On. For for you old heads, you know what I'm talking about. That's from Gabrielle Union's first movie that really brought her out. She was a cheerleader, and I think Stacey Dash was in it, and the white girl Alicia Silverstone. And I apologize for saying the white girl and didn't say the black girl, blah 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 blah. But it was the way I had to remember who she was, so it wasn't a racist thing. It was just how I remembered Alicia Silverstone. And so that was my very first placement, and I still eat off of that today because it's being played cable networks internationally and things of that nature. Now, when it first came out, of course, the checks were a lot bigger, and now when you're looking at your PRO sheet and you're looking at how you're getting paid for our sync is concerned, it's they're a lot smaller than they were back then. But when you have them being played from on an international level and things like Netflix or DVDs, all these things get you money. All right. So sync license is the way to go, guys. And like I said, with Music Millionaires, we're going to be offering that to you guys, as well as music placements and getting placements with artists. All right. And so the last thing there is, guys, is print. Now, print is print is and you would think that publishing and print goes synonymous anyway, because you're talking about print publishing. So anyway, print was when um, they would actually take your lyrics and the scores, if you was a composer, and then put it into a print it on paper and made that available for purchase. It's something that now websites like Genius do for free. If you're smart, you'll have your music or the lyrics to your music on Genius, because a lot of the millennials go there to listen to it, but you don't get paid for it. And what I mean, basically with print, it wasn't something you was gonna be paying your light bill on or going golfing on. You know what I mean? So, print isn't really an avenue now that everyone really gravitates toward, and I don't even hear people really talk about the printing side of publishing anymore. Because people just aren't making money versus streams and digital downloads and things like that of that nature. However, so those are your four ways you get paid as a musician, as a producer in the music industry. And there is ample examples I could have given, like I said, but we cover it in detail in the Music Millionaires course, and we're working out a whole bunch of other things, that you guys um, will know, because that's what we're working on right now, making sure that the Music Millionaires course is in detail, like not bullshitting. We're not leaving no doors unturned. We are trying to get it in and get thing that you can't find nowhere else. And remember, before any of these guys was doing this, before you can Google anyone teaching the industry business, there was no one. I was like one of the first dudes to really do it. I was dropping it. I had my shades on. I was rocking out cool, and I was about 50, 60 pounds lighter. However, I was the first person doing it, so it's still amazing to me now to see everybody want to give up the game and now do these type things. So anyway, guys, those are pretty much the four ways in publishing you get paid. Of course, it goes without saying, you also get paid if you're an artist and you go on tours. You have merchandising. You have, you know, collaborations. I mean, it's so many different ways, far and in between, that you guys can get paid. But for the most part, I hope that answered all you guys' questions. I'm gonna chime in real quick on this side and look at the text. And like I said, I don't have my screen. I normally just go here, so forgive looking at the back of my head. Um, and give some shout outs real quick to everyone that's in here watching. So Hitman's Production, BK Banger, of course. Thank you, BK Banger, for being supportive. We got the video queued up for BK Banger, guys. He want to have a conversation with you guys, so you'll be watching that video this week. Dennis This Music, appreciate you coming in, Dennis This Music. Appreciate it for showing up, man. And y'all, you guys, make sure you hit the notification on once you subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification, because that'll keep you up to date on when we're doing videos. All right. Um, Green Fingers, appreciate you, brother. Thank you for recognizing the information and the knowledge, man. I mean that from the bottom of my heart to all you guys. Spirit Beats, appreciate you, brother. Um, Baby Money, thank you for showing up, bro. And if, you just came in, you didn't hear the original thing. Lightning hit us, so we are like using rudimentary equipment. You know what I'm saying? Like real stuff. So I apologize that the level is not where it should be. And we just rushed, man, really to try to get up and running because YouTube sent out the notice that we was going live, and everything just happened for a reason. It was almost like I wasn't supposed to be on here talking to you guys, but I owed you guys this because I haven't been on here. We've been working out some big things. So again, for you guys that are really serious about doing this, man, hold on, man. Just hold on, please hold on, man, because we're only messing with the best, man. We're only dealing with the guys that's serious. And a lot of you have stuck with us for a while, but we got a lot of different things coming in play. Like I said, we got sync license agreements that's going to be made available to you guys who are part of the team, who joined the Music Millionaires Club. We have some TV opportunities with us personally that we're working on. I just received an email, can't make this up, an international email from the UK on a project that they're working on. And I'll say this to you, it's similar to uh, what was that show where they just canceled American Idol? All right, so and one of the things that was in part of the agreement was, if we had musicians or artists or producers that we felt like could be a part of that, you would have first option on behalf of us. Can't make that up, bro. So, what I mean? We got a lot of different things we're working on, man. And that's why right now we are currently moving our production studio to a new studio. So there'll be a whole nother scene, a different setup, a different scene. Um, because we're expanding, and that means, having more desks for employees and, and interns and having more room for growth. Growth is good. We have just finalized a project that we had from a network that works for you guys as well, which is more opportunities for you guys to get long-term money on placements. All right, so we got like 8 different projects, man, that's coming hand in hand, and it seems like the more I damn talk, the more opportunities we get, and they're coming from people, like I tell you guys, that's paying attention to us on this venue, this platform. And not only that, people who've known me in the industry, know me in the game, know that I'm a stand-up person, that I know my business, I know the business, and that they respect you guys, and know that basically we act as middlemen. They know that we know the guys who are making the tracks, the producers, you. And so with that comes plenty of opportunity to turn you guys on, because like I said, I just want to make sure you guys can eat. That's what it's always been about. You can go to the very first video that I've ever done. It's always been about the team eating, and the team has been you guys. What I mean? You guys are just like family. Some of you I've never even met. We chop it up on the phone, we video chat, we get it in. And so I want to make sure my family eats, man. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I want y'all to be like SG. You know what I'm saying? I really want to be the Quincy Jones of the millennials. You know what I mean? Not because for no other reason, just because I enjoy helping people, man. You know what I mean? And it was either retire and ride horses and do consultation, or retire in style by helping other millionaires or other potential millionaires and producers become millionaires. So I choose the latter, man. But if you guys got any questions, now's the time to answer them. Uh, and I'll try to get in some questions as much as possible. And I see already that Spirit Beats has a question. Uh, so Spirit Beats says that I think now how to increase earnings through TuneCore only by means of social networks, or it isn't obligatory. All right, so if I'm understanding you right, Spirit Beats, let me say this to you. Go back to the Hack My Beat challenge. That's what this is about again. Everything has a purpose. So with the Hack My Beat challenge, it's all about getting people to your music, right? And by getting people to your music, and again, we aren't monetizing your music, so we're not making money off of it. That's why I would not put it on YouTube. I didn't want to put it on YouTube and just have a playlist of you guys' music and we monetize that. Okay, that wasn't what I wanted to do. All right, we were capable of doing that. We could have did it, and not like we're going to make a lot of money off of it, and not that I would have turned it in to my PRO. But essentially, what I'm trying to teach everybody while we're doing this challenge is how to generate that money. And so you hit it dead on point when you talked about TuneCore and organizations like that. If you have spins in play, these are placements. This is you own the copyright to your music, okay? And so when they are synced with video and it's inputted in it's inserted into a content ID system. Okay, it is being now regulated and monetized and is being reported by YouTube if the report is requested. A report can't be requested if it's not firstly one monetized in a content ID system and being identified as inserted into the content ID system. Secondly, being reported to your PRO, which you should tell them this is what my song is called and this is where it's at is on YouTube or whatever your PRO requires of you to make them known or make known that there's a song that's being played. They need to monetize it. Second thing is also start utilizing services like Sound Exchange. Sound Exchange deals with the digital synchronization rights. They deal with the sync licenses aspect of things. They go out and they find your music. And this is not an endorsement for Sound Exchange. Matter of fact, I make no money for telling you guys this at all. But if you want to talk about making your money, these are ways that you do that. Okay. I had another thought, but it left. Anyway, if you guys got any more questions, go for it. Please ask now. And if you don't have any questions, we'll leave the this particular live stream the way it is. I hope that all the information that I presented was useful. I hope you found it useful. Remember, guys, as always. Matter of fact, I'll give it a couple minutes. So let me look. I'll give you a couple seconds. How about that one? Okay. So Terrence Richardson, no problem, brother. Thank you. Also, guys, if you haven't already, what I'm gonna do, I just thought about this. I don't know why I didn't think about this. Um, if you haven't, well, I tell you what. What I'll do is I'm gonna, if you haven't already, go and register to the website where we was giving away the $300 I think in the Hack My Beat challenge. So if you haven't already, go to the video with the Hack My Beat update where I'm giving away $100. Go and make sure that you registered there because I think that $100 gift is still available. It's very important because it deals with your marketing and you should be utilizing that right now. So if no one knew or understood how to use that, that was basically a company that we're going to be using as a service for you guys. So basically, how it's going to work is we're going to be marketing you guys once you become music millionaires or join the music millionaires website, and we'll be marketing some of you guys who have a certain membership, Twitter accounts, YouTube accounts, and things like that. And that company does that. They're very good at it. It's called Branzuka, and so they was offering $100 to test them out, and you guys have that $100. So if you haven't, go into the um, go to the Hack My Beat update, or I'm giving away $100 video. If BK Banger, if you still in here, if you don't mind, can you put the link for me because I don't have access to that right now and the guys are still working. If you don't mind, put that link in the chat before we get off of this and let everybody be able to go to that link if you can. All right. Terrence Richards, Terrence Richardson says, "I'm just starting out and I need all type of advice." Well, Terrence, that's what we're here for. We have tons of videos that's inside of our video playlist. Um, just depends on what you want to know, what you need help on. You know what I mean? Oftentimes, I am available via email. You can sometimes reach me there, or one of the team members will reach back to you. But you can always email specific questions if it's not available in the videos. I will suggest you go to the videos and look because we do have. I think I have like 70 or almost. I'm close. I'm pushing 80 videos with various topics. I think what I mean, like maybe between 5 to 6 videos are just completely off subject. It's us in the studio with Dr. Dre or something, or working on the Kush, or working on project with M. I think a couple. maybe a couple of projects, a couple of videos like that, or we when we are traveling with Dre to Detroit or something for a concert. But the rest of the videos is my point. The rest of the videos are are purely tutorials and are available to you to help you out. Number one thing I always tell you, matter of fact, if you go, Terrence, while I'm just thinking about it, if you go, no, BK, that is the register. They're not going to give you the $100. They're not going to give you the $100 card. It has to come by giving them the boy, the link inside of the Hack My Beat update. If you can't get to it, I'll put it in there before we go out. Um, but anyway, Terrence, if you go to the link that I'm talking about, let me see if I can find it real quick. You will get an ebook that I'm giving away for free. It's called The First Thing Never Done by Artists That Major Labels Bank On. That ebook outlines the very first thing that you need to do, and then it tells you the other steps that you need to do as a producer. Okay, so I appreciate your openness to say that you need advice on everything, because that's big. All right. So okay, well BK is gonna get that link for me, and thank you BK. So you guys, BK he busts his ass, man. Every day. He's a father like most of us. He has children, and he's producing. He's working on videos for his channel. He's working on videos for our channel. He's picking up the babies. He's being daddy. He's cooking. He's doing all these things, man. And he's doing it all from New York. We're down south in South Carolina. He's doing his thing in New York, along with MPC Touch Founders, RD Music in Jacksonville. It's just Anthony September is in Atlanta. Um, it's just tons of us. Machine Masters. We in North Carolina, and so it's just like we make it work whenever we can. But big ups to BK Bangers, man, for everything that he do. I really appreciate everything you do, bro. I appreciate all the effort and energy that you put into um, sharing your knowledge and information. And again, we got more videos from him. I got video we just finalized for MPC Touch Founders that we're gonna put back out. We didn't want to drop everything at once, so um, big ups to MPC Touch Founders and any of you guys that want to produce videos. I thought I had a couple more guys that was going to be working with us, um, who are professionals in certain fields, like FL Studios and things like that, but I haven't heard back from them, and maybe their schedule is a little hectic. But big ups to the team, man. Big ups to everybody, the extended family, as I like to say, that are within these various states, and big ups to Japan, the Netherlands, Germany. Um, oh man, who else was it? I'm missing someone. But mostly, oh, and big ups to South Africa. South Africa's doing big things, guys. You guys have no idea. But Japan really amazed me, man. Just getting a lot of emails from Japan, and these guys love hip hop. So these are opportunities for you guys as well as producers. Japan and these international markets, it's easier to make money in these other places. Don't just sleep, or just don't just think it's all about the United States. If you're in the United States, look at these other avenues and marketing sources that you can go to. Go to these other forums and chats where you have Japanese rappers and singers and things. They love music. They love American music, no matter what genre of music it is. They love it. Hip hop, country, rock, they love it. So, old school R&B. You guys start looking at selling tracks to these other countries, man. Stop. Broaden your horizon, brothers. Broaden your horizon, please. So, there you go. All right. All right, guys. So, with that being said, man, thank you, BK Bangers, for what you just did, man. Thank you, all of you guys. Um, for those of you guys who just came in, if you missed the live stream, I will have it available for replay, so you'll be able to see how you make money. I actually go through all the steps of where the money is and how it's made and what it's made from. So if you missed it, I apologize. I went right through it, and we tried to get it done as soon as possible. For you guys who saw it, I hope you appreciate everything that was being shared. And I'm gonna get off of this thing now because we got so much work to do as we transition to a new production studio. Leave up the skeleton. um, shit here so we can keep making videos and editing and stuff while we get the other studio together. And then for the most part, I'm have to be the one probably to come in here and fix everything, being the technical guy myself. And try to get everything back up and running, man. But again, man, love you guys always. Music is life. Y'all know what the motto is. Also, look out for. No, I'm not going to tell you. Never mind. Never mind. Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Anyway, music is life, guys. We out. And divine love, peace, and blessings to you all. And hope to see you soon. All right. And I hope I can even stop this thing because, you know, hiccups, headaches. Anyway, guys, man, peace and blessings, man. We'll see you guys soon.